Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on the New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave division rivals stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. I have to tell you, what's buzzing around the NFL right now is nothing short of extraordinary. There's a serious stir in the air, and it involves none other than the Cleveland Browns and the New York Giants. It's a potential blockbuster trade that could reshape the NFC East and propel the Giants into a new era of dominance, especially on defense. And believe me, it's no small rumor. It's coming from some very credible sources, including Diana Rossini, who's been reporting that the Browns, currently sitting at a 4-4 record and feeling the squeeze of their cap space, are exploring the possibility of trading one of the league's most formidable pass rushers, Myles Garrett. That's right, Garrett, a player who's been a nightmare for quarterbacks since he entered the league, could be on his way out of Cleveland and heading to New York. And if this happens, it's not just a minor move. It could be a seismic shift that affects the entire NFC landscape. Now, before I dive into all the details, let's set the scene. The Browns, as we know, are in a bit of a cap crunch, with around $14 million over the cap heading into 2026. They're prioritizing some key positions, mainly wide receiver, especially after Deshaun Watson's struggles this season. His PFF grade sits at a modest 73. 5 and turnovers have been a real issue, with 10 turnovers so far. Their defense, which has been allowing about 24 points per game, isn't quite up to the standards they'd like, and they're looking to inject some youth into that unit. Trading Garrett, who's 29 but still playing at an elite level, seems like a strategic move to free up cap space and acquire assets that can help rebuild the secondary and other areas. For the Giants, this potential trade is huge. They're sitting with around $8 million in cap space, which isn't a mountain of cash but enough to make a significant move. The Giants have been searching for an impactful edge rusher after some inconsistency on that front during the season. Their pressure rate has fallen to about 29%, which isn't enough to keep opposing quarterbacks uncomfortable. Adding Garrett to the mix, alongside Kayvon Thibodeaux, would be a game changer. Garrett, with his impressive stats, 95 sacks in his career, more than 420 pressures, and a PFF pass rush grade of 93. 8 up until September 15, 2025, is a true game wrecker. In 2025 alone, he's already racked up 11 sacks in just 8 games, including 3 sacks against the Steelers in Week 6. His win rate is an elite 26%, and he's been a force against both the run and pass, with 58 tackles, 6 forced fumbles, and a run-stop PFF grade of 91. 2. Despite battling a foot injury last year, he's been a consistent presence on the field, playing 92% of snaps and forcing 28 hurries, more than anyone else in the league at 30%. Honestly, he's been a Lawrence Taylor-level disruptor when healthy, and that's not an exaggeration. So why would the Browns be willing to part ways with such a dominant player? Well, it comes down to their cap situation and strategic priorities. They're eyeing the future, and with Garrett's age, he's 29, they see an opportunity to get some valuable draft capital, specifically a first-round pick in 2026. The rumor is that Cleveland would trade Garrett for that first-rounder, plus potentially other assets, with the idea of focusing on rebuilding their secondary and investing in younger talent. It's a classic case of a team selling high on a star to address bigger issues elsewhere. Now, for the Giants, this isn't just about adding another player. It's about transforming their entire front seven. Myles Garrett, joining forces with Kayvon Thibodeaux, would form one of the most feared pass-rushing duos in the league. Think about it. Garrett's elite pass rush ability, combined with Thibodeaux's explosiveness and potential, could elevate New York's defense to a whole new level. This duo would be able to pressure opposing quarterbacks relentlessly, forcing mistakes, creating turnovers, and turning the tide in close games. The impact on their pass defense could be profound. We're talking about an increase in sack numbers, projected to go up by around 22 sacks in 2025, and a significant jump in pressure rate, from 30% to potentially 45% or even higher, according to advanced stats from True Media. The numbers tell the story. With Garrett, the Giants could see their pressure rate jump from 29% to about 45%, which would put them among the league's best. That's a massive boost. And it's not just about sacks. It's about the overall disruptive ability. Garrett's addition would also help improve run defense, with run stops increasing by roughly 16%, easing the burden on linebackers, who have been somewhat limited this season due to injuries. The third down defense would also see improvement, going from allowing a 38% conversion rate to around 46%, making it tougher for opponents to sustain drives. And perhaps most importantly, the big plays allowed, big chunk plays that swing momentum, would decrease. We're talking about reducing big plays from about 12 per game to around 8, which is significant in today's NFL where explosive plays can decide games. Now, let's consider the broader implications. With Garrett on their roster, the Giants' chances of making a deep playoff run increase dramatically. His presence alone can elevate the defense's efficiency. Think of it as adding a catalyst similar to what Khalil Mack did for the Bears back in 2018. The odds of the Giants reaching the Super Bowl could improve from around +10, 0 to +4, 500, a considerable shift. That's the kind of impact a player like Garrett can have, especially when combined with other defensive pieces and a solid team effort. The NFC East, known for its tough competition, could become even more challenging for rivals. The Commanders, for example, have been allowing an average of 3-6 sacks per game, and Garrett's addition would be a nightmare for their offensive line. Opposing offenses would have to scheme around him, which opens up opportunities for other pass rushers and defenders to make plays. The big picture here is that this trade could mark the beginning of a new era for the Giants. They've been building patiently, drafting well, developing players like Thibodeaux, and now they're on the verge of making a statement with a move for Garrett. It's a move that says, we're serious about contending, and it's likely to resonate throughout the league. The Giants have always been a franchise with a storied history, and this kind of bold move could help them re-establish themselves as a dominant force, especially on defense, which has been a key area of focus. Of course, not everyone is a fan of trading away a star like Garrett, especially considering his age and the cost involved. But the potential rewards far outweigh the risks. The Giants, with their current roster, need a game-changer on defense, and Garrett fits that bill perfectly. His ability to accelerate the development of younger players and mentor them is another aspect that makes this move so appealing. Imagine Thibodeaux learning from one of the best pass rushers in the league, soaking in knowledge and techniques that could elevate his game even further. It's not just about the immediate impact, it's about setting up a defensive legacy that could last for years. And let's not forget the bigger picture in the NFL. The landscape is shifting. Teams are investing heavily in their pass rushers because, in today's game, if you don't have a fierce pass rush, your chances of winning drop dramatically. The Giants understand that, and this move, if it happens, could be a signal to the rest of the league that they're serious about competing for championships again. The NFC is wide open, and with a defense bolstered by Garrett, the Giants could be a dark horse contender. Their offense is already showing promise, but it's the defense that will decide how deep they can go in the playoffs, and adding Garrett might be the key piece that unlocks that potential. As we consider all these factors, it's clear that this trade, if it materializes, will be one of the most talked-about moves of the season. It's a bold strategy, but in a league where every advantage counts, the Giants are positioning themselves to be a top-tier team. They're not just building for this season. They're building a legacy, a formidable defensive front that can terrorize opponents for years to come. And the fans, the passionate Giants supporters, should be excited because this kind of move signals that the franchise is serious about competing at the highest level again. It's a gamble, yes, but one with enormous upside. So what do you think about this potential blockbuster? Are you excited about the idea of Myles Garrett donning the Giants blue and red? Do you believe he can be the difference maker that pushes this team into serious Super Bowl contention? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear all your opinions because this is a conversation that's going to shape the future of the Giants. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with even more updates and insights on this story and other big NFL news. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep dreaming of that next Giants Super Bowl victory. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's go Giants.